Good morning, everybody. Oh, come on. I know it's 8:45 and it's benefits time, but come on. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you. Yay, thank you. So this is your benefits enrollment, as Megan said, open enrollment for an effective date of January 1, 2018. Please ask questions if you need to as we go. If it's more of a personal nature, I can hang around afterward if you don't want to ask that in front of the group. So kind of informal there. So who is Fall River? That is my company, Fall River Employee Benefits. We are BHI's healthcare broker. So we are the broker that helps Megan and your executive team every year, get your renewals together, make sure we're still in the right place, the right plans, and that kind of thing. But we are also your confidential advisor throughout the year. So if ever you're confused about a benefit, confused about how a claim was paid or anything like that, you can definitely contact me or Scott on my team if I'm not in. So our information is on the last slide. So take that down when we get there, and just don't wait till you get frustrated. Let us know if you're having any trouble. We're happy to help you there. So today, just a quick overview of our meeting agenda today. I'm going to go pretty fast because Megan's got some other things to go over with you. We're going to talk briefly about how to be a wise consumer and the wellness incentives for 2018. Nothing's really changing. Just want to do an overview with you because you probably only hear this once a year. So, and then your 2018 benefits, nothing is really changing. So all of your carriers are going to be the same. The rates that you pay out of your paycheck are going to be the same. So that makes it pretty easy for you. We're going to go over your action items at the end as well. You will be enrolling through the Paycom system, and Megan's going to show you that. Your deadline is Thursday, November 30th. Okay? So take that down. I'll remind you of that as well. So good consumerism, why do we always talk about this every year? That is because BHI's medical plan through Cigna is what is called partially self-funded. What that means is that if BHI's claims overall are good throughout the year, meaning lower than Cigna would expect, BHI actually gets a surplus back. They get some money back. That is part of what went into your wellness initiatives this year, is that BHI got a surplus that first year. So just extra money in BHI's pocket to be able to provide you with other benefits. So when claims run over expected, and that did happen this past year, it went over what BHI's max actually is, then the result is a larger renewal increase. We did get a pretty high increase, and I'll talk about that. But basically, good claims utilization equals good renewal rates and equals good, the BHI continues its ability to pay for the vast majority of your medical coverage. Cigna has great online tools to help as well. Whoops. So let's talk real quick about how you can be a wise consumer. One is knowing where to go in the event of a non-life or limb-threatening emergency. For those situations, just go to the ER. You have a broken leg, something like that, you're having a heart attack, just go to the ER. But there are a lot of other things that you can use other avenues of care for. Let's say it's not life or limb threatening, but it's uncomfortable. Your kid has a ear infection in the middle of the night, you've got pink eye, you've got a UTI, whatever it may be, those annoying little things that aren't necessarily life or limb threatening, and you can't get into the doctor. There's some other avenues that you can take. So one is to call Cigna's nurse line. You just call the customer service number on the back of your card and ask to speak to a nurse. I have called that line personally for my daughter, and they were able to, she fell and cracked her head, and the big goose egg started happening. And so I called the nurse line. They were able to ask a bunch of questions about what happened, what her behavior was, what it looked like, and tell me that she was okay. We didn't need to go into the urgent care center or the ER, that I could put her to bed safely and just watch for certain things. So it was very, very helpful. So they can kind of triage you if you're not sure, do I need to go to the ER or not? So definitely remember that's there. You have 2 telemedicine programs available to you. I'll talk more about that in a future slide. But you can get immediate access to a doctor. The wait time is usually between 5 and 10 minutes on these telehealth lines, and you can see a doctor right there, and you can even show them, what's going on. So that is very handy. Again, make a doctor's appointment if you can for the next day, or visit one of those convenience care clinics. Those are covered under your plans. Those are the little clinics in King Soopers and things of that nature. And then use an urgent care center when possible. Does everybody know where the closest urgent care center is to this location and to your home? Great, got a lot of nods, awesome. If you don't, go online and figure out, because those urgent care centers do need to be contracted with Cigna. You want to know which ones are contracted, so in the event that you do need to go to urgent care, you know exactly where you're going to go. You're not fumbling around to figure out which one you want to go to. And then emergency rooms, of course, should be your last resort for treatment. Why? Very expensive. Has everybody noticed all of the new ones cropping up around the Denver area in the last couple years? That's because it is a money-making business. They feed off the fact that you've been trained throughout your lifetime in the benefits arena to go to the ER, even if it's not life or limb threatening. So it is the most expensive place to get your care. If you don't need to go there, use some of these other options. You'll save money. The plan will save money. And you'll probably wait less, because we know what the wait times are in the emergency rooms. There is a cost comparison tool on mycigna.com if you've never looked at that. If your doctor says you need to have an MRI, you need to have a surgery, anything like that, you can go online and find out kind of what the average cost of that surgery or MRI is at the specific location you're looking at, and it can give you some alternatives. An MRI can cost $600 at the X-ray facility down the street. In Vail, it probably costs $2,000 for that same one, because Vail's just expensive. So that's just an example of how widely those procedures can vary in cost. Use preferred labs. MyCigna.com also has a preferred lab list that will save you money if you use one of those. So check those out if you do have to have a lab work done. Prescription tips, again, use generic medications if you can. That will save you the most money. Those are often also the tried and true medications that have been around 15, 20 years. We know there's no risk for them. Does anybody remember Vioxx, the drug Vioxx? Anybody take it? What happened? They took it off the market because it started causing people health problems. For everybody on the phone, would you please mute your end of the line? That would be really helpful, please. Thank you. Okay, so Vioxx, they took it off the market after being on there for about 2 years. It was one of those brand new medications, more costly. It promised this and that. The doctors were prescribing it left and right. I actually took it, never had anything happen to me, but people started having heart attacks on this new medication. So my point being, those generics are the least costly. They're also the tried and true ones. I don't want to risk my health by taking a brand new medication that, yes, the FDA has approved, but we don't have any history for that medication. So just I'll get off my soapbox now, but just be wary of those new medications. So your 2018 wellness incentives. So if you do sign up for the wellness program, you can receive the lower rates for the first 3 months of 2018. You will actually elect this in Paycom, I'm told. And then to continue receiving those lower wellness rates, you need to complete the following requirements, 3 of them. Do the HRA online through MyCigna by March 30th. Do your biometric screenings. We're going to get those set up at each location with Cigna probably in February. And then you need to have a preventive care exam with your doctor between July, if you already had one starting July 2017 up through current, that's fine, we can take that. But the deadline for that is March 15th of 2018. Make sure you schedule your appointments early. It's more difficult to get into your doctor for a preventive care exam when nothing's really wrong than to get in to treat a cold or something like that. So schedule those early because you need to turn in your actual explanation of benefits from Cigna that's going to come after your visit. You need to turn that in by March 15th. Okay, so schedule those exams now if you haven't had them in the last couple months. You can choose not to elect and participate in the wellness program, but you're going to have additional rates to pay if you so choose. Yes?
So you said schedule the exams now. Last year when right after this, I went to my doctor to schedule it. But they had said they actually scheduled me out until the exact year for my last one because they said that Cigna probably wouldn't count if I did it before the end of the year.
Actually, Cigna is one of the carriers, I'm told, that does not care if you wait exactly a year.
Okay.
So,
They don't care.
They don't?
Yep.
All right.
And my son had to have one for meds and then one for football,
Okay.
and all of them were covered.
Okay.
Those in the same plan together. They said you can have many of those
Okay.
exams.
yep. So if the doctor tells you that, argue with them, have them call Cigna to verify, but it's my experience that Cigna is one of the carriers that does not care. Some of them do, so it's a great question.
We checked that down a couple of times last year, and each time Cigna allowed it.
Yep.
Allowed the preventative exam was a good calendar year, so
Yeah.
we can fix that if you're having any pushback from your provider.
Okay, great. And a note, if you are putting your spouse on your coverage through BHI, both of you must complete the requirements above, so both you and your spouse. Okay?
Does that include kids?
No, just you and your spouse. Yep. Okay, we'll do a quick review of the medical plans through Cigna. We did want to let you know rates did increase by 16.9%. That's a little bit of that's a heftier increase. But BHI very generous in absorbing all of that additional premium so that you guys wouldn't have to pay more out of your paycheck. Okay, so that's a good thing, right? Thank you, BHI. So you still have the same two plan options. They're both the Open Access Plus network. So if you're on mycigna.com searching for a contracted doctor, you just want to elect the Open Access Plus network. You do have the High Deductible Health Plan, or the CDHP, with the health savings account. And don't forget that BHI does contribute actually very generously to your HSA accounts, and we'll go over again a brief overview of what that means. You also have a copay style plan that you can elect if that is your preference, and you would use the flex spending account, the FSA, if you wanted to set aside some pre-tax savings dollars to pay for your out-of-pocket expenses on that copay plan. Okay, as I mentioned before, you now have two telehealth programs through Cigna to choose from. At the end, I believe Megan's going to circulate a Cigna packet for you, and that has a flyer that includes both of the telehealth phone numbers and websites on that sheet, so keep that handy. So it's MD Live and Amwell are the companies, and it provides you 24/7 access to the doctors via your phone for a smaller charge. It costs about $40 for a CDHP member, so that is less than if you were to make an appointment, to your doctor and go pay for it that way. And then a $30 copay for the copay plan members. Okay, so pretty cheap price to be able to get your issue taken care of. They can also, if they have to prescribe anything for your pink eye or anything like that, they can call it into a pharmacy. Even if it's 3 a.m., they can call it into maybe an overnight one. So very handy benefits for you guys to have. You can like I said, you can access by your smartphone or you can do video chat. And then you need to register for these programs, so pick one. I really don't have an experience on Amwell or MD Live. Amwell's newer with Cigna, so I don't have any stories on which one is better, so pick whichever one you think sounds better and register. They both have smartphone apps as well, so I would get that on your phone in case you need it later. Okay, let's go over the high deductible health plan with the HSA. This is the plan again that does not have copays when you go to see the doctor, unless you go for telehealth. Like I said, that'll be about a $40 charge. So you pay the full cost of your doctor visit or prescription up to a $3,000 individual deductible. And a $6,000 family deductible. And then after that, you don't pay anything for the rest of the calendar year. So this plan's really super easy to understand. You pay everything up to that deductible, and then you pay nothing for the rest of the year. And how you pay for your services under that while you're meeting your deductible is through that HSA account that BHI does contribute to. Yes?
Hi, so is this to say that the telehealth visits, even if you met your deductible, you still have to pay the $40 of that cost?
Ooh, that's a good question. My inclination is to say no, but I don't know if the telehealth companies are synced in to Cigna to alert them that you've met your out-of-pocket. So I'm going to say, let me check into that. That's a great question.
Thank you. And then my similar question would be, does, when I pay the $40, does that go towards my deductible or not?
Yeah, it should. It should, but I will double check on that. Yeah, great questions. So who's on this plan, the CDHP? Who's on the copay plan? Who's not sure which plan you're on? I always get a couple of those. Nobody fessed up. Okay, so the majority of you are on this type of plan. Do you guys have questions from your experience this past year, or just wondering, are we pretty familiar with how this works? How you use your health savings account money to pay for your out-of-pocket expenses? We're good. Okay. You guys are pros on this. So the copay plan, same as last year. You do have copays to see your doctors. You do have copays for your prescriptions on this. I did want to highlight one thing. It's a benefit to be with a CDHP over the copay plan if you're electing with dependents. Your out-of-pocket maximum, you'll notice, is higher on the copay plan than it is on the CDHP plan. So that's just something I wanted to point out. That's like the worst case scenario. You'll save $1,000 in the out-of-pocket if you're on the CDHP. Okay. This plan does have a deductible, so $1,000 for individuals, $3,000 on a family. You pay that on hospital stays, outpatient surgeries, your MRIs, things like that. You're going to pay that $1,000 deductible first, and then after that deductible's met for the calendar year, you're going to pay a 10% coinsurance on those charges. So who can tell me, if you've got a $10,000 surgery bill and you've not met anything, it's January 1, everything starts over, what are you going to pay on that $10,000 bill?
$1,000.
$1,000 plus. Who said 900? Good job. Good job. So you're going to pay the first $1,000 in deductible, and then you go into coinsurance. So you'll pay 10% of the remaining $9,000, which would be $900. So the total you've paid on a $10,000 surgery is $1,900. Now your deductible's met, and anything else you have would go to coinsurance, except of course your copay services, your doctor's visits, your prescriptions, still at a copay. Okay. Your copays, do they apply to your deductible? Do they apply to your out-of-pocket max? Yes. So people get this confused, which is why I like to highlight it. All of your doctor visit copays, your ER urgent care copays, your prescription copays all of those are applying to your out-of-pocket max. And on this plan, that's $3,000 for an individual, $7,000 for a family. When you've met that amount for the year, Cigna then pays 100% of your services, provided you're seeing in-network physicians. Okay, so that's your worst case scenario in any given year. So copays apply only to the out-of-pocket, not that deductible. Make sense? Yes.
So you keep saying it goes for the whole year. Is BHI covering our insurance all the way through next year, December?
Benefits are set up right now to be effective January 1st and will be effective until December 31st, depending on how long we are active as an organization. So
It
we
will be
are set up
active
to
through the
support
year as long
benefits.
as you're an employee.
Okay. But we're prepared to, support benefits as long as you're employed with us.
Yep. Okay, questions on this plan? Okay. Your contributions, these are in your benefit guide as well that will be circulated at the end, so don't feel like you have to frantically write these down, but nothing's changing here. So you can see there's a difference between what you pay if you're electing the wellness program versus non-wellness, but you do have that choice. And then, sorry, this is full-time, this one is 3/4 time. All right, let's talk about your pre-tax savings vehicles really quick. If you are on the CDHP, the high deductible health plan, you want to do the HSA, the health savings account, because this one rolls over from year to year if you don't spend the money in the account, so you want that benefit. It's administered by Rocky Mountain Reserve. Your bank, I believe, changed last year, and now it's UMB, so hopefully everybody got their new debit cards, and I think you'll keep those for this year. I don't think they're issuing new ones. Unless, of course, you're electing this plan new for 2018. So this is the individually owned bank account. So your account, when you leave BHI, all the money in that will go with you. Okay, it doesn't stay here at BHI. Even the contributions that BHI gives you goes with you, and you can still use this money even if you're not, if you go to another employer and they don't offer a high deductible health plan, you can't contribute to the HSA anymore, but you can still use the money that's there for your copays or whatever it might be. Okay. Let's see, unused money rolls over from year to year. We talked about that. And then in addition to what BHI gives you, you can elect an amount coming out of your paycheck to go into that HSA account as well. And you can change that amount throughout the year depending on your health situation. So BHI gives an employee-only gift of $250 and matches up to $1,250 if you put that amount in. If you're electing with dependents, they give you a $500 annual gift and they match up to $2,500. This is super generous, you guys. I think it's the most generous HSA contribution from an employer of all of my groups. So again, BHI is very generous on that.
Matching set up for until June, or how's that going to work?
It's dollar for dollar. Each pay period, what you put in is what BHI will match.
Yes, but this is a maximum for a year.
Those are the IRS limits.
But Claire, like if you put in, if they match up the 2,500, then would this be correct to say if I donated 2,500 my first month, you guys would match it and then I would be done?
No, so the way that an HSA works is that you select your annual limit and then we divide that by 24 pay periods because that's how many pay periods that BHI has. And so just like last year, it'll be divided amongst those pay periods and each dollar that you put in up to those limits will be matched.
Yes, but knowing that we have an end in the middle of the year, that means that the matching will be only half of that.
So maybe double what you put in last year, because there's only going to be 6 months instead of the 12. So doubling your
But if
month.
you get another job. You can only do the math.
And then pick up on what you do that kind of deal going
So
over
that's the way
higher
it's set
expenses.
up. If you maximize your own contributions, it limits out in July usually of each year for those people that are selecting the maximum amount. Because we don't know what our timeline is going to look like. We're going to set it up the exact same way that we set it up last year with the same limits, and you can still maximize on those dollars that BHI has chosen to contribute. Does that answer your question?
But I think someone had a good point. You can, if you're worried about being done, in July, you can contribute more because you can change that amount later, and you can even stop your contributions if you are going over those IRS, if you're going to go over those IRS limits.
Yeah, this is a way too that we set it up so that no matter what your future looks like, we're still protecting you from staying within the limits that the IRS has set. So we closely monitor those for all of our employees because there are significant penalties if someone exceeds the limits. And so if it is something that you want to make sure you maximize all of the contributions that and the gifts that BHI does, this is kind of one of those, you have to put a little skin in the game to get the match. So the more you put in, the more match you'll receive.
Does BHI stop us if we get to those IRS limits, or do we?
Yep, we automatically do that Tina does it manually by hand, so you should thank me because it's a calculation of every single payment. But yeah, we take care of that for you. So we've built into Paycom so that we've already calculated it so that what you put in includes what we would match as a gift. It keeps you within the limits that you see up there, the $34.50 for an individual and $6,900 for a family. So we limit you, so you don't exceed your contribution, and then when BHI gets to their match limit, then we zero that out as well. So you really just have to select what you want, and then we take care of the rest.
Yep. Great questions. Any other questions on the HSA? Nope. Okay. The flexible savings account, this is the pre-tax vehicle if you are electing that copay plan. You want to do this one. You actually can't do the HSA if you do the copay plan. This is use it or lose it though, so any money you don't use at the end of the year, you forfeit. And this is also taken out in equal increments from your paycheck throughout the year. Your amount cannot be changed throughout the year unless you have a very specific qualifying event. Your annual contribution limit for 2018 is going to be $26.50. The limited purpose health FSA, if you are a high deductible health plan member, you can elect the IRS maxes into the HSA account, but you can also, if you want to maximize your tax-free savings, you can also elect the limited purpose health FSA, and the limited purpose means you only use that FSA for dental and vision expenses, and then anything medical you would want to use your HSA for. Okay, so this is if you want to put as much as possible aside on a tax-free basis for dental vision, and then again on the medical side for the HSA. Okay, so you can do that. The dependent care FSA, that does not matter which plan with Cigna that you elect. You can elect the dependent care FSA if you have children under the age of 13 that need daycare while you work. You can set aside up to $5,000 out of your pre-tax paycheck. And this one, so on the health FSA you have a debit card, right? But on the dependent care you actually have to submit the claims. So when my daughter was young, I used to do it just quarterly, 4 times a year, so that I could get my money back on that. And again, that does not matter which plan you elect. And then there's transit cost reimbursement. I hear nobody does this, but it's a good benefit. You can get $130 pre-tax for commuter and transportation costs. Okay. Yep.
The dependent care FSA, you could have that if you have HSA also.
Yes, dependent care, it does not matter which plan you elect. That's totally independent, yes.
Same with transit.
Same with transit, yep.
Transit, it doesn't matter what medical plan you're on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2 questions. For the limited purpose FSA, you only use the $26.50 for dental and vision benefits at the end of the year. You're going to use it or lose it. So I have to buy like 50 pairs of prescription sunglasses.
Yeah, you could. Actually, my dad's girlfriend has literally 15 pairs of prescription glasses because, well, she has the money for it, which is one, but she needs to match every outfit. So you could do the limited purpose for that. I bet you she maxes out her limited purpose FSA.
I'll just give you a couple examples where I know people have utilized this in the past. When we had an employee parent that had kids holding braces, and so they knew that their dental costs were going to be obscene. And so that made sense. Or I did it this year for LASIK eye surgery, something where you know, perhaps you know that you're gonna have a big expense, or you historically have had big expenses in the past. So you can use it just to plan as well, but those are the things I know people have used for just significant costs they know they're gonna incur.
Also, isn't if I'm not mistaken, the FSA is available, like if you put in 1,500 or whatever, it's available right then, versus HSA, you have to wait till you accumulate to spend it.
Yeah, exactly. HSA works like a normal bank account, which is kind of common sense, but when you compare it to an FSA, you know, whatever you select as your annual contribution,
It's ready right then.
it's available to you.
FSAs, including the limited purpose and the dependent care, are they all use it or lose it?
Yes.
Okay.
FSA by IRS law are use it or lose it. And the HSA annual maxes, all of that is determined by the IRS. It has nothing to do with BHI's rules. Yep. Yes?
For the transit costs, does it have to be to appointments?
I believe it has to be to and from work. Yeah. It has nothing to do with your doctor's visits or anything like that. Yep. Any other questions on the FSA? So you would elect an FSA if you elect which plan? Copay plan. Thank you. Okay, just making sure. Okay, let's move on very quickly through the other benefits. The Delta plan is not changing. It's still through Delta. Dental plan is not changing. It's still through Delta. It does have 3 network tiers, so you just want to check that your dentists are contracted. I'm sure you've already done that. But the best level of coverage and least out-of-pocket expenses will be on the Delta PPO dentists. The Delta Premier dentist is kind of middle. You'll get lesser coverage, but those dentists can't balance bill you. They do have a little bit of an agreement with Delta, so they can't balance bill you for extra charges. Out-of-network dentists, however, provides you even less coverage, and they can balance bill you. So what I mean by that is if Delta pays $500 on a crown and that dentist charges $1,000, then you're going to pay the difference between the two, okay? Only on the out-of-network dentist. Make sense? So here's the Delta plan. Nothing's changing. Again, you'll see different deductible amounts, whether you're using a PPO dentist or a Premier dentist or out-of-network. The coverage is almost exactly the same. However, you'll see on the PPO dentist column, you'll see a better level of coverage for your basic services, and that's your fillings, your root canals, and things of that nature. You'll also get a better benefit on your major services. Those are the ones that are really costly, the crowns, the bridges, the dentures. So you'll see that you do get the best level of coverage, the least out-of-pocket charges on if you're seeing a PPO dentist. And then there is ortho for children up to the age of 19. It's a 50% benefit, and the max is $1,000. Okay. I'm going through this. My daughter just started braces, and we had to pay a boatload because dental plans just don't pay that much toward ortho. So $1,000 lifetime max on ortho. Annual maximum on all other services per person is $1,500. So that resets every year. So pretty good benefit. Questions on dental? Nope. Here's your rates. Nothing has changed there. These are in your benefit guide as well. The vision is through Beta, and the network is iMed. You can get your eye exam once every 12 months for a $10 copay if you're seeing in-network physicians. And then there's a reimbursement level if you choose to go out of network. You can submit the claim yourself and get some money back. You can get lenses in your glasses once every 12 months for another $10 copay. And your frames you get every 24 months. You get a $120 allowance, and you get 20% off the balance. Remind them of that discount, that 20% they forget. I've had it happen, I think, every time. If you choose to get contacts instead of glasses, you can do those once every 12 months for a $135 allowance. If you go over that, that'll be your responsibility. There is a contact lens fitting as well. That's you get a $55 allowance for that. Vision rates. Any questions on vision? Pretty straightforward. Your life and disability plans are still through Unum. Nothing's changing. BHI does give 100% of your annual salary to a max of $150,000 for a basic life and accidental death and dismemberment benefit. BHI pays for all of this except for the voluntary term life. If you want more than the one times your salary benefit that BHI pays for, you can elect an amount in $10,000 increments up to a max of 5 times your salary, or $500,000, whichever is less, for yourself. You can elect in $5,000 increments up to a max of your employee election, or $500,000 for your spouse. And you can also do up to $10,000 on each child as well. So those are pretty generous voluntary benefits as well. Yep.
Real quick, because every year I have people sign up for voluntary life insurance, and if you do it above certain amounts, the insurance companies require what's called evidence of insurability. It's kind of like an application. So they'll look at your medical history to decide if they're going to approve the benefit for you. And every year I have people that sign up for this, but then never submit the evidence of insurability, and so they never get that extra benefit. So please just be conscious of the fact if you're electing these voluntary life plans, that there is an extra step if you're electing more than $50,000 for yourself, $15,000 for your spouse, or $2,000 for your child or children. And I will show you where to get those forms. You can always come to me, but just take that extra step to submit that paperwork.
Yep.
You're saying if you go over those.
Well, you can choose in 10,000 increments as an employee. So if I chose 30,000, I would have to submit paperwork. If I chose 80,000, I would have to submit paperwork over that 50,000 limit that the insurance company has set. Basically saying, you're under this amount, we guarantee it. Otherwise, you need to essentially apply for the difference of what you're looking at.
How much was it per spouse?
15.
And I believe you also have to do that if you did not elect when you were first eligible as a new hire. They'll also have you fill out that form because they're thinking, what changed that you want to elect it now? So you'll have to fill out that evidence of insurability as well.
And they will, they'll mail it to your house. Last year I sent communications to people pretty regularly, but we just still always have someone that forgets that step, so just keep an eye on it. But yeah, they might make you do it just because as well.
Yep. Okay, BHI also provides you a short-term and long-term disability policies. Hopefully that'll never happen to you, but it is good income protection. If you are short-term disabled, which means less than 3 months, you have a waiting period of the first 30 days, and then your checks would begin on that 31st day, and you would get 60% of your salary to a weekly max of $1,500, whichever is less, and that can go on for 9 weeks. So this is where pregnancy falls into, or any other injury or sickness that goes for 90 days or less. And then if you are long-term disabled, so that's 90 days or more, you get the benefit on that 91st day, and you would get 60% of your monthly salary to a max benefit of $6,000 per month. So again, hopefully this never happens to you, but just some good income protection that BHI provides for you. And then long-term care as well. I also don't have any other group that offers long-term care. They really don't even sell it on a group basis anymore, so it's great that BHI offers it. BHI pays for a $1,000 facility benefit for up to 3 years, and if you wish to purchase additional coverage under that long-term care policy, you can for yourself as well as your eligible dependents in $1,000 increments up to $9,000 a month. So, and the rates are based on your age and plan design, but group rates are usually less than if you bought a long-term care plan outside as an individual. So take advantage of this, definitely. Questions? Okay, we're almost done. Employee Assistance Program, just want to remind you that this is there. This is a free benefit that you don't pay for, and it's confidential BHI never knows that you called or what you called for, but it just provides guidance, resources, support for any personal issue you might be facing, whether it's financial, whether you need counseling for a problem in your life, child and elder care referrals, financial planning, all that kind of thing. You can also get a legal consultation with some local attorneys, stress management information. There's a whole bunch of things that this offers, and it's free. So I've got the phone number and the web information up here. Don't forget about this benefit. It's just, I'm using mine right now actually. So it's just a great free benefit. Okay, employee action items. Don't forget to review your BHI benefit guide that you're going to get and the Cigna packet and everything else that Megan hands out, just to make sure that you are fully prepped to go through your open enrollment. You know what you want to elect, you know what that means. And again, enrollment is taking place in Paycom, and the deadline for completion is Thursday, November 30th. Megan, is that ready to go now?
Yes.
It's ready to go. So she's got it prepped, which is awesome. Here is my information, as well as Scott back in my office. He provides the back office support excuse me, for BHI when I'm out doing these types of meetings. So you can call either of us if you're having a claims problem, don't understand a benefit, not sure which plan to elect, any of those things. We're there for you all year round. Please utilize us. All right, I think that's it for me, unless there are other questions. All right.
All right, we are almost done.
I have a handout for the employee wellness program requirements, because this does go on for the next couple of months, and you are responsible to get these things in really by the end of March. And so I'll send out additional communications, but keep this in your cubicle or at your desk or whatever, and make sure that you take those steps. And then there's also just a checklist. I am a checklist person, so I made one. You don't have to use it. It's just to guide you through kind of what you need to do to get through open enrollment. It's not that bad. It's just one piece of paper. So these are paper clipped in the back. As you walk out, just make sure you take a stack of the BHI handouts and then the Cigna packet as well. Now I just wanted to show you guys that in the shared drive, hopefully you all know this. Okay. So hopefully you guys all use this year, because we have a folder for 2017 benefits, but now we have one for 2018 benefits as well. So this is basically every piece of information that I have on our benefits. You can access this at any time throughout the year. There's the handouts that we have under instructions, and then you'll just see that it's broken down by benefit. So medical insurance, for example. Look at all of these resources that you have there, and that's for every benefit. So if you ever want to look at this or have a question, this is a great resource just to have at your fingertips at any point. The last folder, benefit documentation, is all the fun stuff that we have to provide from a legal standpoint in regards to your benefits. So feel free to peruse these. If you have had benefits for several years, then you probably remember getting those huge packets every year that were like 50 pieces of paper that had all the benefit documentation in very legal jargon, and that's what you can find here, but it's always accessible to you, and I'll be sending it out as well in email in early December. Questions about this? I just wanted to show you guys that this is available to you. Last thing we're going to do today, oh, of course, I need to sign back in. It's just watch a quick video on the enrollment in Paycom. I know no one likes watching these, but this is a new system for us, and it's important that we enroll accurately, because our carriers are set up to our Paycom system, and so things are going to flow through to our carriers, and the less, the more accurate we can be signing up for benefits, the easier this whole process will be for you and for me. So let me just sign back in so I can show you guys this short video. If you are declining benefits, you actually have to go into Paycom and decline them. So even if you're not electing benefits, you still have to do something in the system, so just keep that in mind. Let's hope I get this right on the first try. Perfect, okay. right, any other questions? Because I will let you go after this video's done. If not today and if things come up, just feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to walk through this with you. As Tanya has stressed, November 30th, but the sooner you can get things in, the better. There's no necessarily reason to wait unless you need time to make those decisions with your dependents or for yourself. So, all right.
One of the biggest perks of working for a company are the benefits they offer you. Choosing the right health insurance and other plans for you and your family is a big decision, which is why we make it simple to see how much you're spending and how to compare plans. Hi, I'm Anna Marie Arbert. I'm one of your client trainers here at Paycom. With employee self-service, enrolling in benefits has never been easier. In this training video, I'll show you how to elect or decline coverage. Let's get started. To get started, we'll select the Benefit Enrollment option in the My Benefits section. This screen gives you instructions. Now notice the box on the right-hand side to see the benefits that you're eligible to enroll in. Later, it'll help you keep track of where you're at in the enrollment process. Now go ahead and hit Start Enrollment. If your employer allows it, you can edit your personal information here. When you're finished, go ahead and hit Next. Now you'll see information for any dependents that you have on file. You can add new dependents by selecting Add Dependent. Also, notice at the top that you may have the option to re-enroll in the same benefit plans you had last year. If you didn't enroll in last year's plans, you'll see the Quick Enrollment screen next. Here, you'll decide on the plans you want to include in the enrollment process and decline the plans that you don't want. Later, you will only be able to see the plans in the enrollment process that you choose to include. So if you decline a plan here, you won't see it in a later step. When you're ready, hit Next. Now you'll start enrolling in the plans you selected. You can enroll in a benefit by selecting it at the top of the screen. By the way, some plans such as life insurance or 401k plans may require beneficiaries. Your dependents will automatically display to select as beneficiaries, or you can click Add Beneficiary to add someone who's not already listed. After doing so, you'll choose your primary and secondary beneficiaries. The primary beneficiary for Frank Adams is his spouse, Martha Adams. This is the person who would receive the benefits if something were to happen, while the secondary beneficiary is the person who would receive the benefits if the primary beneficiary died at the time the benefit is to be paid. Keep in mind that you can list the beneficiaries as primary or secondary, but not both. Also, the percentage column automatically recalculates to distribute across the beneficiaries selected. You can manually update a percentage, but if you do, be sure the total equals 100%. When you're finished, click Enroll. If you decide during the enrollment process that you would no longer like to enroll in a plan, you can easily decline coverage by checking the box next to Decline Coverage, then clicking Decline. And also, at any time, you can exit and continue enrollment later, and your progress will be saved. Once you log back into the system, simply select Continue Enrollment, and you'll pick up where you left off. Continue through the enrollment process by choosing whether you would like to enroll or decline coverage for all of the plans you've selected. Don't forget to check out the progress box to see where you're at. Green check marks mean you are enrolled, and then you'll see the cost to the right of the plan name. A red X means you decline the plan. You can edit a plan anytime by clicking on its name. When you're finished, you'll arrive at the Benefit Plan Selection Review screen. Here is where you can see a summary of the plans you've enrolled in. If you need to make any changes, select the plan from the side box. Otherwise, check Complete Enrollment. Now make sure everything is correct and click OK. Now you'll see a list of the benefits you elected. When you're ready to complete the process, click Sign and Submit at the bottom of the screen. And now your enrollment is complete. This wraps up the first video of this training. Now you know how to enroll in or decline benefits. After this, you'll test your knowledge by answering a few quiz questions.
You guys don't have to do the questions, don't worry. All right, we are all set. Tanya, thanks for presenting our information today. Thanks everyone for being here and being patient with our technical difficulties, and grab some food on the way out if you want it. Last thing is the packets are on the back right corner by the food or by the door on 2 chairs here. So Signet packet and handout.